which pockets are making noise. So kindly make sure that you keep quiet. Thank you very much. I was just giving you a small background of what we are doing here, why we have gathered. So, to your knowledge, let me tell you that Mr. Shah Sundar Rudra Raju will be here in another 10 minutes. He will be speaking to you briefly for hardly 30 to 45 minutes. And being a serial entrepreneur, you can expect him to enlighten you about his entrepreneurial journey. Now, why do we think that this is important to you? Because, first and foremost, a very strong intuition from Mr. Rahul Karar that connecting the business students to the entrepreneurs is always important because that will help you inspire yourself to take on a different journey. Second, you might get inspired from all the wonderful situations or difficulties that he might have faced in his own life. Now, I have his introduction in front of me and in my hand over here. Now, some person who started his journey in 1994 and has developed and established multiple ventures, not just in India, but also in the US, we can definitely learn a lot. आज के समय में जहां छोटी छोटी परेशानियां कई लोगों को आत्महत्या करने के लिए मजबूर कर देती हैं, some people are achieving so many things in their small lifetimes. So it is really important for us to come together and hear out from the right people who have achieved and fought their way in their lives. So I hope you will enjoy this. Thanks a lot for your patience. We will request you further to keep silence and maintain the decorum of this program. Thank you very much. Steve Jobs, right? स्टीव जॉब्स सब जानते हैं? यस, नो? थैंक यू. आप एक व्यक्ति को नहीं जानते होंगे जो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है स्टीव जॉब्स की लाइफ में, उनकी वाइफ. स्टीव जॉब्स अपनी वाइफ से कैसे मिले, ये जानना आपके लिए जरूरी है क्योंकि आप फ्रंट रो ऑक्यूपाई नहीं कर रहे हैं. एक प्रोग्राम में स्टीव जॉब्स was one of the speakers and that program was going on and his wife or his spouse was supposed to attend that program but she came in late. लेट आने की वजह से पीछे जगह नहीं बची थी, सामने सिर्फ एक सीट खाली थी. So she took that seat. Fortunately उनके बाजू में स्टीव जॉब्स बैठे थे फ्रंट रो में. And of course when you sit with someone you always have a small talk or a conversation. That conversation resulted into their marriage. That's the importance of taking the front row. So, those who are sitting in the back or really eager to take the back seats, what are you going to lose? Be very aware of that part. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Shah Sundaraju today. I was just going through his introduction or his CV with me over here. Allow me to, before he comes in, allow me to just read some excerpts from his CV. So you will get to know what this person has achieved and what you can expect from him when he starts speaking. He is a Bachelor of Engineering from Computer Science from Bangalore. Then he went on to complete his MS from University of Mississippi, USA. Currently, he is holding the position of principal at Galaxy Glowzone, USA. This is since June 2018. What is Glowzone? Glowzone is a family entertainment chain of centers, family entertainment centers. Now, these family entertainment centers are close to 50,000 square feet. Now, who are they competing with? They are competing with top players like Main Events, Dave and Busters. These family entertainment sectors are present in 5 cities across US like Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Chicago, Washington, DC, New Jersey and Denver. He is also the principal founder and owner of Dindi Resorts. Now, this is an interesting concept. Dindi Resorts are located on the banks of River Godavari in Andhra Pradesh. Now, this is again a chain of multiple resorts which are forest-based or beach-based resorts. Now, on the beautiful foothills of the Godavari River, these resorts are competing directly with top players like The Park, Thomas Cook, Royal Orchid, and Lemon Tree. He is also the founder director of RHI Clasil Limited since 2005. Established Clasil Refractories Limited in Vizag in 2006, entered into a 50-50 joint venture with RHI Magnesita, which is an Austrian company. Moved on to making this company a $2.5 billion conglomerate. Currently, RHI Clasil Private Limited is India's second refractor manufacturer and India's largest exporter of refractory materials. He also is the founder and CEO of Softalia Incorporated. Now, he established Softalia Incorporated as a telecom software development company, which evolved into a product company and patented network and element management systems for many telecom optical gear hardware companies. This company was sold to CMS Communications, which is a Columbus-based, Ohio-based company. This was sold in 2003. As a software engineer, he has worked with AC&E Incorporated, and he worked over there between 1994 and 98. Worked as a telecom software engineer after graduating with masters in computer science. Instrumental in creating the unique technology to manage both SONET and SDH telecom equipment from integrated network management system. He has also been the founder of VRD Trust in 2002. The VRD Trust focuses on providing free healthcare in rural and remote areas of India. Has successfully developed hospitals and mobile healthcare units in states of Andhra Pradesh. He was inducted into Uplism Pi Eplism on April 21st. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the guest for the evening with us. A big round of applause for Mr. Shah Sundaraju. And I will request Honorable Vice Chancellor and our Registrar to please escort our guest on the dais and start the ceremony with the very important ritual of lighting the lamp. Sir. Also accompanying the Associate Dean for External Affairs, School of Business, Dr. Swati Bankar Madam, and Associate Dean for Academics from Ramcharan School of Business, Dr. Manatkar. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, as a tradition at World Peace University, I would like to request the dignitaries and also the students present here to rise at their places for a world peace prayer, which is beyond any caste, creed, or religion. World peace prayer for the peace and harmony of humankind. I'll request the technical team.
Jaya Jaya Swasamvedya Atmarupa Devatuti Ganeshu Arthamati Prakashu Asu Avadhari Godi Guru Vishnu Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, once a reporter asked Mr. Richard Branson of the Virgin Group, what was your motivation to become an entrepreneur? His reply was really interesting. He said, I became an entrepreneur just to keep challenging myself. I see life almost like one long university education. Every day I am learning something new. This is the reason why we have gathered over here. From the life sketch of Mr. Rudraraju, sorry, we will be witnessing how people challenge themselves and achieve new heights in their life. Before we move forward, I will request Honorable Vice Chancellor and the Registrar, sir, along with the Associate Deans from School of Business and Ramcharan School of Leadership, to please come forward for felicitating our guest for the evening, Mr. Shah Rudraraju. I will be giving you the complete introduction of Mr. Rudraraju. But before that, I would like to invite the registrar for a welcome address. Mr. Pokre.
Very good afternoon, all. Yeah, I think all of you have, those who are still finding a place, please quickly get settled. We are about to start an interesting address in herein. We always have been believing, along with our founder, President Sir, that we should invite the people from all walks of life. They'll keep coming here, they'll keep sharing their experiences. And at times, those experiences shared gives us much more than what is written in a book. It might have taken whole semester for us to understand a couple of principles. And maybe one such talk comes forward and tells you a big story. Now, when we talk about a topic which says entrepreneurship in new world, I also would like to communicate to our guest, Ms. Shah sir. Last month only, we had an event called as a RIDE, which is Research, Innovation, Design and Entrepreneurship. This event basically was meant for all second year students, including the first year of postgraduate students. The whole objective of this event was to ignite the spark of entrepreneurship into our new team. We also have observed a trend where parents nowadays comes and ask to the education institute, not only about placements, also about the entrepreneurship possibilities. Startup culture, incubation, that is something, a very positive trend we have been observing. Now, when you talk to these management students, we have been extremely working hard to have the entrepreneurship track developed among them. And I think in continuation to that, this is going to be a great opportunity for all of us, great opportunity for our students to hear you something when we talk about the entrepreneurship in the new world. I welcome you all, sir, on campus, and I could clearly see next 45 minutes of a talk is going to give us a great insights about this entrepreneurial journey, what has Shah sir has covered. So with this, I welcome you on board and looking forward to a great excitement, 45 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pokre, for bringing that out. RIDE has just concluded, and also will add that MIT World Peace University has seed funded close to 44 new ventures, which were initiated by our students. So they are operational currently. With this, I will also request Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to please a small welcome remark. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Yes.
I have been a business management professor for a long time when I was young, and I was good. So if I start, I will unnecessarily go and eat into sir's time, which is very precious. As a serial entrepreneur, his time we should salute actually. And someone gives time, actually gives part of life, their part of life to us free of cost. And that's why I feel that sir's experience is very, very important to us at this juncture, not only to you, but to India, when we have 140 crore people wanting some kind of a service or income to live, but there are only 5,000 companies. And these companies are there on bourses called NSE or BSE, which proudly say very big. Out of 5,000, 7,000, maybe few thousand companies are defunct. Look at the data very closely. And we should talk always based on the substance. And look at it, those companies which are very large and have opportunity to give kind of employment to all of us in India, especially the new generation, then this company number is pretty low. If you look at BSc 200, those who are teaching especially finance, those who look into Nifty 50, you will see many companies are common for many years. This should not be the way. New companies should come overpower the earlier companies. And we should have at least target of 2 crore companies. So each company has an average 10 people, then 200 crore employment will be generated. And that's the way to go to $5 trillion or $10 trillion economy. Economic will not go just like that, by emotional appeals. That is one of the area, emotional appeal. And if we are going that way, then you look at the dollar price which is trending up or down every day. It's going down every day. When I was in college, $1 was 7 rupees. And our teacher very influentially told us that you have to work so hard that one day $1 is equal to 1 rupee. And that day will be there where 1 rupee is equal to $7. We were impressed as a student of finance. Forget about 1:1. It went from $1 to 1 rupee. It has come down to 83. It might go to 100 also. We are not doing well overall, if you look at it as a comparative or the comparison with other top economies. Do you know that Thailand, a tiny country, their currency is also dearer to? That means we are cheaper to them. Only Sri Lanka and some Pakistan and nearby 2-3 countries are below. The rest all are above us. So it's entrepreneurship which will save this particular economy called India or Bharat. But how we have to learn tricks of the trade of entrepreneurship. Small countries which I said like Thailand or Singapore, how they went ahead based on the, nothing is there. You manufacture all the top cars in Pune, Mercedes, Volkswagen. There are only 5 plants of Mercedes-Benz in the world. You have in Pune, one of them. But still you are behind. And that's entrepreneurship. And what is this entrepreneurship? Sometime if you invite, I'll come to your classroom. It's a land, labor, capital, and enterprise. Land is already there. You don't create new land. Yesterday we were having 5 acres in India. Now we have 50,000 acres. Last 75 years we are having the same piece of land in India. Land, labor, capital, and enterprise. This is the basics of business management. Labor is manpower, 140 crore, available at around 10,000 rupees to 20,000 rupees a month on an average. Only few people get 7-8% get high salaries. So land is there, labor is there, capital is umpteen, abundant. From US you get at around 4 to 5%, though private equity route if you take, they take toll of you and ask for 24%. But actually it is available for 4 to 6%. Indian capital is available from the bank, fixed capital, around 10%, plus or minus 1 or plus or minus 2. Working capital, if you look at it based on your performance of your industry, which revolves your production cycle or service cycle, is available again around that price. Some Ambanis and Adanis may be getting 6-7%, but we all commoners get around 10%. I'm not talking about home loan, auto loan here. I'm talking of business. So land is there already, labor is already available, capital is umpteen. Where is the problem? The fourth factor of business, which is enterprise. Appetite for the risk to create something out of the box or the existing product with innovation. Decide any one of them. And then all that jargons which we teach you, unfortunately, we teach a lot of jargons which we take from IIMs and Harvards. Use them and run your own business. If I ask you, how many of you want to, I ask this to sir, how many of you want to go into placements? Almost 100% hands will go up. How many of you want to go into business, startup? Then some of you will raise hand. But how many of you want to first take placement from us and then start business? Many. This is a normal trend for last 15, 20 years in business management. Institutes which give BBA and MBA. I'm told that all these some of the BBA students are also there. Add opportunity to all those 10 BBAs which you have to personally craft and draft. This Bapat sir is there. And many people are asking, why 10 BBAs? Because we are going specialization way. Banking is different, personal banking is different, corporate banking is different, corporate finance is different. Some other time I will speak. So in short, when it comes to starting business, we need role models. How they did, can I emulate them, copy them? No harm in copying best practices. People copied Tatas and Birlas to some extent. People did not copy Tata and Birlas and went some other way, Adani Ambani way also. It is your choice, your freedom. But such stories, such cases should be multiple in 2 years of MBA and 3 years of BBA. That is what is our idea is. And from that angle, Honorable Rahul Karad sir has taken this keen interest to bring different such role models whom you can emulate, look at them as heroes of business. And sir is one of them. I'm once again welcoming sir on behalf of Karad sir, Rahul Karad sir and all of you. And we are, sir, eager to listen to you. And I have to talk on behalf of students to you that whenever it comes to internship or final placement, it is only MIT World Peace University exists in this world. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable guidance. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take you through the entrepreneurial journey of Mr. Shah Rudra Raju. He is a Bachelor of Engineering in Computer Science from Bangalore. He did his Master's in Computer Science from University of Mississippi, USA. Moved on to the US and currently he is handling multiple ventures. Now, let me start with the current venture which he is handling as the principal. He is the principal for Galaxy Glow Zone in the USA. Glow Zone is a center which is present in 5 different cities in the USA. Now, this is Houston, Dallas, Chicago, Washington, D.C., New Jersey, and Denver. Now, these are more than 50,000 square feet family entertainment centers competing directly with major players in the USA. Apart from Glow Zone, he's also the owner and founder and principal of Dindi Resorts. Now, this is an innovative venture on the banks of River Godavari. Multiple resorts across the banks of the river and the foothills of the mountains in Andhra Pradesh. These are forest-based and beach-based resorts competing directly with top players like The Park, Thomas Cook, Royal Orchid, and Lemon Tree. He's also the founder director of RHI Clasil Limited since 2005. Established Clasil Refractories Limited in Vizag in the year 2006, entered into a 50-50 joint venture with RHI Magnesita NV, which is an Austrian refractory manufacturer with an annual turnover of euro 2.5 billion dollars. I'm sorry, 2.5 billion euros. Now, currently, RHI Clasil Limited is the largest exporter of refractory materials from India. That's quite an achievement. A big round of applause for Mr. Rudra Raju, I'm sorry. He's also the founder and CEO of Softalia Incorporated. Now, established Softalia Incorporated as a telecom software development company, Softalia evolved into a product company with patenting network and element management systems for many telecom optical gear hardware companies. He later on sold this company to CMS Communications, which is from Columbus, Ohio, in the year 2003. He has also served as software engineer in AC&E Incorporated. Worked as a telecom software engineer after graduating with masters in computer science, instrumental in creating the unique technology to manage both SONET and SDH telecom equipment from integrated management network systems. His other achievements: he is also the founder of VRD Trust since 2002. VRD Trust focuses on providing free healthcare in the rural and remote areas of India. VRD Trust has successfully developed hospitals and mobile health care units in the state of Andhra Pradesh. It's so important to give back to the society. These are the aspects we learn from great entrepreneurs. Thank you very much, sir. Also, he has been honored from the Society of Computer Science, and the only honored Society of Computer Science for his contribution to the enhancement of research and development in the computing sciences arena. Outstanding Service Award from US Department of Energy for his contribution towards the reconstruction of the Fermilab E791 dataset, which is part of the US Department of Energy's Fermi National Laboratory project, a multi-billion-dollar experiment. Worked under the world-famous physics scientist Professor James Reedy in 1994 September as a research assistant. Ladies and gentlemen, that is quite a journey, and we are fortunate to hear from the man himself. Please put your hands together for Mr. Shah Rudra Raju.
Good evening, guys. Okay, right. Thank you so much for this honor. I thank Rahul, the Vice Chancellor, all the staff, and most importantly, the students who have come out to listen to me at 4 p.m. on a beautiful day outside. I know if I was your age, I would be saying कि यार चाय पीते हैं, ये कहाँ भाषणबाजी हो रही है. But anyways, thank you so much. I mean, that is very kind of your organization to put the positives on the board. But yes, I am an entrepreneur, and I can tell you to start off that I had more failures than successes. So if I count, and in fact, my wife and my dad, a lot of people complain. If you see, the gentleman has gone through the profile of what I have done since 93, when I graduated from my engineering in Bangalore. They seem to be all over the place, right? There's no one track, if you may. But then it was a great journey, and I am an entrepreneur. But what is an entrepreneur? Why is an entrepreneur, and what creates an entrepreneur, right? I mean, all of you are MBA students. By the way, on a side note, I'm not a very good speaker, by the way. I'm better off at question and answers. So I'll keep this very short, and then I would like to hear ideas from you. And it is amazing that last week I was at a DPS school addressing some 9th, 10th, 11th students. And there were questions a girl asked me. She was the head girl or something like that, for which I am still searching for answers. So I think we will share experiences, and your questions will be much helpful. So, entrepreneurship, right? There is many definitions of it, and I'm sure in your MBA there's a definition. And one thing, as a side note, guys, one regret of my life is I couldn't do an MBA in my life. That was my dream all along. I did engineering, I had to do master's computer science because of survival. And once I got into business, I applied to Georgetown University 2 times without GMAT. And I got admission both the times for their executive MBA program, could never find time. Now I'm close to retirement now because my daughters are started working in New York. So I want to take it easy and maybe I'll come join you, sir, in MIT as a student. So that will be an experience and fulfill that wish. So I will, you know what, back in 93, the word entrepreneur was not there. I don't know, there are very few people other than the first benchers who know that time. But now today, entrepreneurship is a very common thing. So the need, why does a person become an entrepreneur? I became an entrepreneur because of need. So I had no idea. I had no this thing. The only thing I knew that I cannot work. In the confusing list of things I did, after my master's, I only worked in one company in my life for about 1.5 years till I got my green card called ACND. That was the company. And that is where I learned telecom. And after 1.5 years, I quit the company after I got my green card. And 2 years after that, I bought the company I used to work at. So the owner is a great friend, Larry Stone. And in fact, when I was searching for jobs, now, very soon, I've just gone through that process. Both my daughters, one graduated from Kelley School of Business, Indiana University. Ash Soni, the dean, is a very good friend of mine. And the other daughter, twin daughters, other daughter graduated from Gozeta Business School. And they're both working in New York. They just started in September. So the need for entrepreneurship, like I said, so I don't know the definition, the book definition of an enterprise or entrepreneurship, right? But now very soon you guys are all going to look for careers because, you need jobs, you need this thing. So the question again is, how many of you want to get into a corporate job? Can we raise some hands? Number of people who want to get into corporate jobs? Okay. Number of people who want to get into government service? Wonderful. Wonderful. And how many of you want to become entrepreneurs? Wow. So the biggest number of people here want to become entrepreneurs. Okay. So what do you need to become an entrepreneur? Right? I will sort of give you, because there are so many people who have raised their hands, I'll give you a very short version of my journey, and then we'll go into some interactive mode. Life of an entrepreneur is very, very difficult, right? And especially somebody who doesn't have a core competency. Core competency meaning Bill Gates is an entrepreneur, but he had a core competency. He created Microsoft, or what's his name? The Apple. I don't use Apple, so Apple founder Steve Jobs, right? He had an idea. In fact, I'm sure all of you know that he was kicked out of Apple, right? And then he started Next Computers. In fact, my Fermi National Laboratory research was on Next Computers. And then the entrepreneur he is, he came back and went through this thing. So I will tell you my journey. My only dream was, after my engineering, not to depend on anybody and want to stand on my own legs. That time, the only job I got was a 1,200 rupees job in a company called Sunray Computers, Bangalore. And I know it would not cover my expenses. So I said, let me go to the US. And to pay fees, there's a trick in the US for not paying tuition fees. That is, you become a research assistant. For that, you basically need to do a nice interview and put a very sad face in front of the professor, saying that you've just come from India, you have no money, so you need, right? So that's how I got into research. After that, I had to do a job because I needed to get a green card. And then my ultimate goal was business. And in fact, the first business I tried was importing a carton of wine while I was studying in the University of Mississippi and trying to sell in the US. Only foolish thing is, I didn't realize that I thought wine is a great. I never seen wine before I went to the on the flight, right? So I thought this is a great idea. I mean, beautiful. Europe mein banta hoga wine. US people don't know. By the time I got the carton, I know that US had it. So I had to literally, all my friends had to drink the wine. So that was my first failure as an entrepreneur. And after that, I started Softalia, which was a service-based company, then made it into a product-based company. We got 3 awards here. And then there were 2 failures followed by that, again in service businesses. And now RHI is in the manufacturing realm because I planned to move back to India because I wanted my daughters to be raised in India, so we moved back when they were 8 years old. So what I'm trying to say is the journey of an entrepreneur is very difficult. You better be prepared for that, right? And it will take a lot of mental, physical, emotional, and financial challenges. And I'll just tell you one incident after selling a successful company, starting another thing. I lost that company for no fault of mine, and one day I didn't have money to buy milk for my kids who were infants. So, but then we had to start again. With God's grace, became successful, and then, success and failure are a point of time. Nobody is successful, nobody is failure, right? Today, we have seen, everybody has seen, right? Success and failure are just a point of time. And then, be prepared for failures. One thing I want to say is entrepreneurship looks nice and rosy, but for every successful entrepreneur, there is a lot of failures also happening. And I'm a good example in the sense that I failed more than I succeeded. But then that's why they call it a serial entrepreneur, right? It is like an addiction. Even today, while I was sitting with Rahul, I had another idea on a totally unrelated thing. So now I am officially, I don't want to hold any positions of office, right? We're just closing another refractory with another German company. So I want to be in more strategic roles and finally do what is my real passion in life, which is farming. So I'm developed a 100-acre farm just outside of Hyderabad, and I want to take students, schools, colleges to experience farming and that's how I spend time. So be prepared for failure. And what is the opposite of success? Anybody? Yes? Failure. No. Failure is a part of success. Success is a failure gone wrong. So you keep on failing and suddenly you succeed, right? So all I'm trying to say, I don't want to be a negative thing. I just want to put the reality into you that entrepreneurship is going to be hard, but it is the most, most satisfying thing you can ever get, which you'll probably not get in a corporate job or, corporate job gives you security. Entrepreneurship, you create employment. In my company, in Softalia, we had 400 green cards that came. And out of that 400, 100 have become entrepreneurs now and hiring various number of people in the US and elsewhere. So with that being said, I think I would rather have you guys ask me questions regarding the journey because I think that will be more fruitful.
Hello, check. We have the microphone here. If you can raise your hand, our very good friend will come to you with the mic. So we have a question over here from Saurabh. Saurabh, please.
Hello, good evening, sir. So my name is Saurabh, and we were listening to you, and when we heard your profile, that as a successful serial entrepreneur, I want to ask you that what are the key qualities that you would like to share with us, which each and every youngster should focus upon if they want to become a successful entrepreneur just like you?
The first Saurabh, right?
Yes, sir.
Saurabh, thank you. The first thing, right? And I'm a patriotic person, born in India and everything. Now I give back to my country through my thing, but I've become very, after being in the US for 15 years, right? One thing I've realized, it's a capitalistic society. One key thing, one common thread is hard work. You have to keep at it, and it has to give in, right? Some people are very intelligent, right? They get it, everyday exams, all that, right? Some people take 8 hours to prepare for an exam. Somebody does it in an hour, right? But I think hard work is the most important thing, and knowing your weaknesses also is a very important thing, because working hard, knowing your weaknesses, and understanding that you're going to have bumps on the road, this will keep you on the track.
Thank you so much, sir.
Hello, sir. My name
evening.
is Samruddhi Palandurkar. My question for you is how can someone safeguard their ideas? For example, nowadays, people are eager to steal your ideas. Like, they want your ideas to be your ideas and they want to do a startup from your idea. So, how can we safeguard our concepts?
Okay, see, that's a good question, because you have an idea, right? You don't know whether it is $1 million idea or $1 billion idea or $1 trillion idea.
Exactly.
You discuss with somebody, you don't know if that guy is going to start doing, right? So one is brainstorming. The other is if you really think you have got it, right? I think Indian legal system is getting better at it. In US, it's much easier. You patent it, you search for it, and you might think you have an idea, right? But there are so many billions of people out there, right? So somebody in China or Australia or Korea might have the same idea, right? Then that's when time to market comes. So basically, the only way to really protect it is either you be a sole person, or your idea, the key part, you keep it as in your hands. Whether it is, I don't know, it could be as simple as, one of the most successful enterprises right now is women's fashion, Nike or something, right? What is the unique in that? People have been selling cosmetics for years. But she just had a simpler way to do it, or whatever it is. Now she is listed as one of the billionaires of India, right? So you need to, if it is a technology idea, you really need to protect it. If it is a service, improving of service idea, you need to first see if it actually works and keep it close.
Thank you so much, sir.
And while we are waiting for the next question, I'll give you another thought that just crossed my mind because of this fine lady's question. See, back in the day, that will make me sound too old and my daughters will have a problem with that. But anyways, so back in our day, what did I do? I went to the US, studied, all normal things, right? Studied, worked, then tried to do a business. दो चार इधर उधर धक्के खाए, time ने सिखा दिया सब कुछ, right? So that time entrepreneurship was you have an idea for a service or a product idea. So most of mine were really service ideas turned into products for opportunistic goals, built to a certain level, sustain and sell, right? So the idea is idea, build and sustain. But in your generation, more than sustaining, your ability to change. Things are, see, change is the only constant in the world. I think I'm sure everybody have heard about this, right? One thing constant is change. But nowadays, in this new age, new world, the time of change duration has become very small. Things are changing very fast. मतलब आज ये है तो कल something better is coming. So as you are developing your ideas, right? So I was with Ash Soni, like I said, he's the dean of Kelly Business School, almost 12,000 and top 9 or 8, right? So Ash Soni, so I was asking him, so what do you see? So like, Chat GPT has come, right? Now nobody knows if there's a software engineer's job going to be there in 5 years or not. So I was asking the dean, you know, my daughter spent 4 years and $500,000 at your great institution. So what have you really taught her? I mean, she majored in supply chain management. He said, you know what we really try to do at Kelly Business School is prepare kids for the change and able to adapt. So she might be a supply chain management, but it just, actually his words is so true because 3 months down the lane, she is in a totally different field. She is working in insurance. So entrepreneurs, in our day, entrepreneurs had to sustain their businesses. Now you should be, the first thing is adaptable to change because change is happening very, very fast. Thank you. Next question.
Sir, good morning, sir. So my name is Sheikh Sagir. I just wanted to ask you a question that what are the struggles that you faced, and another thing is that what should be the mistakes that we from now on should avoid? Thank you.
I think there's two questions. What are the struggles you face and what is the second one, sorry?
What should be the mistakes that we should start avoiding from now on?
Okay. Struggles are way too many, right? First, see, struggles, everything is so, I'm sure everybody understands Hindi here, right? Kal samay paristhiti, right? So, kal, time, samay paristhiti, situation. Back in our day, when, I mean, I went to the US in 93, just fitting in to the society was a big struggle, right? I mean, at best, they used to look at as monkeys who know coding, for lack of a better word. I don't want to sound racist, but they used to say, okay, a guy from India off the boat, that means he knows math. That means he can code, right? But they never saw us as businessmen. So when I used to go and try to sell my product to the customer, the whole acceptance of a person as an Indian guy trying to start now everybody, by 2001 or something like that, I was on the technology roundtable for 2 presidents, George Bush. In the US, there is something called the roundtables. Every industry has a roundtable for the president. So if the president wants to do something new in pharma, he has a pharma roundtable, where a lot of the industry guys, so I was on the technology roundtable for Clinton's second term and Bush Jr.'s second term. So by that time, what happened, the transformation was that you suddenly became that if you're an IT company with no Indian on board, there's something wrong. So, I mean, I was on like 10 or 12 different boards of the companies. So for my first struggle was, it was like when you're bachelor, when you don't have a family, right? You're just sustaining on free food and all that kind of stuff. That was not struggle for me. That was actually more fun. The first real struggle was me getting a job was very easy again, but starting a business just to get an appointment and have a guy listen to me was the biggest struggle I think I went in my life. What you should avoid, you know what? Whatever, and with no offense to my friend Rahul Karad and the Vice Chancellor here, whatever we learn in the classrooms, right? They're all the right things. And I can tell you whatever today, right? It will only register when you actually go through that. So it is very difficult to say what to look out for, but I think overall you should look out for do you have the capacity to go through that journey, whatever that journey may be. If you want to be an entrepreneur, right? Do you have the patience to struggle for 10 years and then be successful, as opposed to trying to get into a job, take care of your parents, get married, have children, so on and so forth. And bad company, right? And I know it's very difficult to identify bad company. I would rather say I will tell you what you should do. I think you should read a lot, right? And that's what I tell my daughters, read a lot. Whether it is, every book has something to give, whether it is a Socrates philosophy or a Jack Welch General Electric journey or whatever it is. Just reading those things will give you an idea what to look for. And I'll tell you what, the biggest book you can ever read, and I don't want to sound anything, is the Bhagavad Gita, right? It has got every right and wrong in there. So,
Thank you, sir. Good evening, sir. My name is Karan Marwa. So I know for a fact that many students sitting over here have some amazing entrepreneurial ideas. But what most of us are lacking is the execution part. So my question to you, sir, is that what kind of mindset you had to when you transition from the ideation phase to the execution phase? And the second part to this question will be, how can one move on if that idea of that entrepreneurial idea doesn't work?
see, my journey or entry into entrepreneurship. So my entrepreneurship started when I left my job and started my own business, right? I think God was kind, I was lucky. I was in the service business, right? Service business doesn't require capital, right? So all I did was go to a client and say, I can provide you this service for which I need 4 software engineers. And he would say, why, right? I mean, why do you need 4 engineers? You write scope of work or whatever it is, right? So I did not really put any investment into it or time, really speaking. So I don't know what kind of ideas you have. Suppose it's a product idea, right? Then you have the whole angel funding. First you have to do a prototype, right? As you know, funding is becoming difficult, easy and difficult, both times. Very difficult for early stage, very easy for revenue generation ideas. So depending on the idea, is your thought going towards a service or a product? Product is going to be a long, well, not a long journey depending on where you are on the idea, right? But you need capital and you need time and how to sustain. I mean, thankfully, if you have a bunch of angel investors, whether it's your parents, relative, friends, or like that, right? And there are so many forums now, where you can go and pitch your ideas, so on and so forth. So Product idea is going to take a lot more patience. See, entrepreneurship can be anybody, right? I mean, entrepreneurship is not technology. I mean, my thing was, okay, in fact, only 2 of my companies were technology companies. The resort, the RHI is a manufacturing unit, and one is an entertainment unit, right? Entrepreneurship is somebody opening up a curd rice point. Outside, I was seeing that there are so many shops you have outside your campus, right? There's no curd rice shop. That is an idea. That is an entrepreneurship. But if it is product, it's going to take time. Better be prepared, get your funding in line, keep talking to people.
Good evening, sir. My name is Charul Kumawat. And my question to you as a serial entrepreneur is that how do you know that an idea is not successful and when you need to stop? What are the indicators?
When do you need to stop? Stop on that particular idea. If you're an entrepreneur, never stops. Entrepreneur keeps going on from one, like I said, one failure to the other till he reaches success.
Yes, sir. You know you are working very hard for it and then there's no fruitful result you are getting out of it. So how do you know that, yes, you need to give up on this idea and you need to work on something else?
Well, in my case, when I didn't have money to buy milk for my kids, I said, this idea is not working, I need to do something new. So it is circumstantial, right? So it depends. First of all, obviously, you need to see if you have competition in the same area. And if they are bringing in the revenues and you're not able to bring in the revenues, there's something wrong in your sales and marketing model, right? And the limits of endowment will change from person to person, right? Some people can take, one injury, some people can take 10 injuries. But it's your gut. Always believe in your gut, man. Whether it is stopping, starting, going, whatever it is, believe in your gut. And gut feeling always is right. It might not be logical, but it will be right. I think, my personal opinion.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
This is Aditya over here. At the end of your speech, you spoke about farming, right?
Yes.
So I just want to ask, how has your experience been by far in farming?
How do I?
How has your experience been in farming? Could you just tell us a little bit about that?
It has been and it is relatively new, right? I got into well, let me give you a little background. I'm basically from agriculture background, meaning my grandfather was a farmer. Farmer meaning is not a farmer as a daily laborer, but he had a piece of land. With that, he used to cultivate paddy, educated his 5 children into professional jobs, and then, so somehow my family, they joke, he owned land, but he actually used to work in the field. Matlab, pura langod pen ke, he used to do the actual farming. So I always loved farming. In fact, when I came back to India in 2000, way back in 2008, right? I really wanted to do farming. In fact, I registered a company called Desh Ki Dharti back in 2008. But then suddenly some idea came up. And then this RHI Claysel was born. And then it was a big multinational kind of a deal, so it took off, lot of time and so on and so forth. And then the Belaxi glow zone thing was that, okay, if I go to the US, start the business, tomorrow when my kids graduate, they'll have a business there to run and so on and so forth. But farming is actually, I just started farming about a year and a half ago. Like I said, it's close to 100 acres of land. I grow 35 different varieties of flowers, fruits, vegetables, and this thing. I go to the farm every day. Well, I still go to the office. I go to the office at about 8:45, leave by 11:45, 12. And from 12 to evening 6, 7, I'm in the farm. And I'm a person of the soil. I like going in the mud. I mean, it's as clear as that. So I'm really enjoying it, and hopefully God will give me the opportunity to remain a farmer for the rest of my life.
Good evening, sir. My name is Aniket. So my question to you is, sir, as you said, you are from research domain, and me being an entrepreneur, I would find loophole in the society, and I want to fulfill that loophole by doing entrepreneurship. So I have an inquisitive mind. I always look for an idea. मुझे ये भी अच्छा लग रहा है, मुझे वो भी अच्छा लग रहा है. So what factors you as an entrepreneur would look to get your idea? मतलब एक idea select करके in which direction would you move?
See, when I started my life as an entrepreneur, right, it was very simple. Meaning, I am not a Steve Jobs or a Bill Gates or that young guy who is, I forget his name. Yes, he's got a product idea. He's working on a product already, right? So I didn't have any product idea. So my thing was service. So there was nothing right or wrong about it. So I didn't have multiple ideas. I just knew that I had no other thing but to do a service. So now in your case, looks like you have multiple ideas and you want to figure out which you want to channel in. You need to do research. I mean, depending on is it a evolving business. See, a lot of businesses fail. I'll tell you a very interesting thing. Somebody told me, Dr. James Reedy told me, it's always not correct to be the first guy to market, because the chances of first guy to market will 70% times fail. It is the second guy to the market and the third guy to the market who learn from the first guy's mistake and do a better product. So without knowing what your ideas are, right? See, what you have right now is this whole internet media, right? I've heard, I've personally not seen, but I've heard there are a lot of champions, right? Successful entrepreneurs who have, say, in your field, right? They give out free advices. I mean, he's not a venture capitalist or anything. He's just an experienced guy who's spending time trying to, See, that's one thing. See, once you become an entrepreneur, I will tell you why entrepreneurship is very satisfying. You suddenly feel that you are blessed once you make it, right? So it's like out of nothing you have made something, which has created employment, which has created taxes, which is providing for people and so on and so forth. So usually entrepreneurs like to give back to society. I mean, obviously in the US it is very common. I mean, Bill Gates gave away 80% or somebody gave 90%. I mean, whatever, there are a lot of tax implications there and that's why they do it. But at the end of the day, they're giving back, right? So what I would suggest is, because you're young, and look up on the internet, look for champions. I think that's the word they use, entrepreneurial champions. So suppose, I'm just saying, for lack of a better, if you have a telecom idea, let's assume, I will be able to tell you that whether you're going in the right line or not. And so likewise, depending on if it's an e-commerce product, there could be e-commerce champions. I think you should look up the internet, look for champions who give you free advice, with no vested interest, right?
Hello, sir. Good evening. My name is Shweta, and my question is: did you come across any factor which was easy in regarding to business environment in US, and you are facing a challenge, that same challenge in India or vice versa?
Good question. Businesses starting a business in US is very easy, right? I mean, I think that's what your question
Yes,
is, right?
yes.
I mean, what are the differences you have seen
Yeah.
in starting a business there and starting a business here? See, starting a business in US is very easy. Surviving a business in US is very hard.
So, what made you survive there?
Pardon me?
So, what were the factors like that
What-
survived? Your business survived there?
Because, see, US is a pure capitalistic society, right? There is no patience in the system. There's no patience in people. There's no patience in the system. They chew you and throw you out, right? But in India, we have our society, our cultural background gives a more patient approach, right? Acha chalo thoda aur kar lo. Try it one more time, or you failed once, or your product did not work, so I'll give you more choice. But here, challenges are more legislative or statutory in, income tax or GST. All that headaches are way too much, I think. And I'll tell you the biggest thing, since you're talking about entrepreneurship, what is not good in the Indian system and what works in the US is something called bankruptcy. How many of you have heard about bankruptcies? So, chapter 11 and chapter 7, there are two bankruptcies, right? Our great, no pun intended, ex-US President Donald Trump declared bankruptcy 7 times. So once you declare bankruptcy, you are sort of wiping the slate clean, and you can start the immediate next day. The only thing they can't take away in bankruptcy is your primary home. His primary home just happens to be worth $300 million in Florida. So that's the only thing he kept constant. Every time he used to. In India, failure is looked upon as a taboo, right? I mean, and that's something very discouraging for an entrepreneur. US system encourages you, okay, you failed today, okay, doesn't matter. You start again. You failed again, you start again. You failed again, you start again. Like I said, failure is, success is a failure gone wrong. So in India, I think it is going to change. Hopefully, you are the next generation. You are the guys who need to bring in the change. So when somebody says, and I have a lot of people I coach, my friends' kids, they come with ideas and they talk about it. And workout nahi ho to nahi hua yaar. It is not the end of your life. I mean, if I have not created Softail, am I a failure in life? No, I could be a employee, have a family, be successful, be happy. What's wrong with that, right? Success or, being an entrepreneur, being rich doesn't define a man. And like I said before again, success and failures are just points of time. So to get back to your question, systematically starting and shutting down businesses, failing and restarting is much easier in the US, little more difficult in India. But once you get something going, it's easier to sustain here than there. So pick your poison.
Thank you very much for those wonderful questions. And I think the biggest takeaway today will be, how do we encourage failures? A big round of applause for this wonderful speaker, my dear friends. This was by far one of the most enlightening sessions by an entrepreneur himself. So success is failure gone wrong and encouraging failures. So I'm really looking forward, how do we use this further? And imbibe this in our daily lives, to take more risk, especially at this age, and become something like Mr. Rudra Raju. Thank you very much, sir. Moving forward, I will request the Associate Dean for Industrial Affairs, Dr. Swati Bankar ma'am from School of Business, to deliver the vote of thanks.
On behalf of WPU School of Business and School of Leadership, I take this opportunity to thank our esteemed guest, Mr. Shah Rudra Raju, Founder Director of RHI Classic Limited, Founder of Balix Glow Zone USA and Dundee Resort. Thank you, sir, for your valuable guidance. Your experience sharing has definitely motivated our students to take the entrepreneurship journey. I also thank our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Chitni sir, our Registrar, Dr. Ganesh Pogre sir, for gracing this occasion. I thank all the faculties and students for the lovely audience. Very good questions by the students. I hope you people had a good insights on the entrepreneurship journey. Thank you, one and all.
You know, one of the signs of encouraging failures, now earlier there have been signs that in the classroom people are not really eager to speak up because maybe they have some fear of failure or fear of being laughed at, you know. But from the classrooms where people not used to speak up, in this gathering where people have asked so many questions, I think we are changing as a society. And the number of questions and the quality of the questions have really inspired at least me that yes, the people are changing and we are evolving as a student fraternity. Thank you very much to all the wonderful students. Yes, a big round of applause for you all. Thank you.